Hiya, it's Miles Tarot. Just doing it this way at the minute. I've got a mark on the back of me, on the camera on the back. So when I'm facing it down, it's just looking blurry. But I could face this camera down, but then I can't keep a check on it because it switches itself off all the time, or it starts messing about, or stuff pops up on the screen. And I won't be able to see it if it's flat down. So in this format just now, I've got the 3 of Pentacles popping out there, working together. So every time I start coming on YouTube and I decide that I'm gonna come on YouTube and I'm gonna actually commit to it, something happens in my life where it's just like, the fuck you are, and just like literally spamming me words kind of thing. And it's just, you know, for as much as I do these readings, I do struggle myself as well with absorbing negative energy or with allowing things to kind of get on top of me. But this time, to be fair, it was my auntie dying. My auntie literally, I found out on Thursday that she was poorly. So I found out on Thursday that she's poorly. It's not good. Didn't know before this. And then Saturday she'd passed away. Like that quick. It's like fucking, not even fucking had time to register the fact that she was poorly. And they live miles away as well. They live up in Scotland, and I'm down in Manchester in the UK, so it's a good 500 miles away. But it's not even like we see each other, and I've not seen her for a long time. So that's given me a bit of food for thought and a bit of something to sit and chew on, because we didn't have remember we had our fallouts, and I'm quite a stubborn person, so at the centre we've got present. So at the centre of the reading we've got present. And this card's all about being in the present moment, kind of keeping yourself in the moment, not allowing yourself to be drawn beyond what's happening in the here and now. So we're not doing things like overthinking about getting wrapped up into things that haven't even happened yet, or that we're just imagining the worst of, and then we run away with it and we make it a whole thing when it's not even a thing yet, when it's not even had chance to attempt to become a thing yet, because nothing else has played out to send it that way. But we make it so because we're already there in our heads, we're already kind of putting that out into the universe. So it's that kind of energy. See the cards around. So in the thoughts we have the 10 of Pentacles. In passions we have the Ace of Cups. In the emotions we have the Page of Wands. Material world we have the Hierophant. To the past we have the Knight of Cups. To the future the Page of Pentacles. As above the Empress. And so below the Page of Cups. So the reason this is all happening, we've got this Page of Cups energy. So this could either be you throwing out your emotions. This could be you being quite naive with your emotions and freely giving your emotions, and having a lot of painful lessons to learn in emotions because you've been that free with them. If that's not the case, it could be speaking to that this is somebody that was like this with you, somebody that was a bit of a dreamer, somebody that came along that was kind of all about kind of this, you know, what they were feeling in the moment, and there was no real substance to them, basically. So you may still have this on your mind. This may be a past it. Well, with the Knight of Cups here, this will be a past situation. This is a past situation that was a connection with somebody that was quite flighty. This is somebody that means well, to an extent. This is somebody that means well to an extent, but this is somebody that is in love with the idea of being in love, and they're in love for as long as they're in love for. So it's, you know, it's a bit of fly by the seat of the pants. Song just popped in my head then, wherever I lay my hat, that's my home. And it's like that kind of energy where somebody can like get that distracted that easily. So it may be that you were connecting with somebody in the past who was like that was just like really easily distracted away from you, and no matter how much energy you poured into them, it's just like you, it's almost like with the Knight of Cups, especially the Page of Cups energy down there as well, this is the energy where it's like you could never do whatever you know, they're always wanting more, they're always expecting more. If they find one single little flaw with you, there's something that they just one thing, it could just be one thing that you do, and it's like you tarnish to them then, and they want something new, and shiny, something that's not tarnished, something that doesn't have the flaw that you have. And that's the kind of energy behind like the Knight of Cups. So this could be somebody that you've been dealing with, it could be you yourself, but this is the energy that was to the past of this situation, but it's asking you to be present. So it's asking you to try and pull yourself away from that energy. So you may be stuck thinking about the past, you may still be having lusty feelings, you may still be, it could be well that you threw your energy into somebody who was coming across as if they were the be all and end all, someone that was love bombing you to death, somebody that was making out as if you were all that they needed in their life, like you were the air that they breathed. And it's like they've come at you in a way where it's caught you off guard, and you've gone into like this mush of emotions, and it's just, it's fucked up because you're not perfect, and nobody is. So this Knight of Cups energy is never going to really truly find happiness, because nobody's ever going to be flawless. Nobody's ever going to be perfect. Everybody's going to have a mark against their name at some point. It's unrealistic to think otherwise, and it could be something stupid, it could be something and nothing, but then you're tarnished. And it's that kind of energy. So it's like kind of trying to leave that in the past, but because you were that caught up in emotions, because you got that pulled into it, that you know, you really gave it your all, you were really vulnerable in the situation, and because of this you may still be thinking about them, and it's horrible. Been there, done that. It's horrible when you've moved on from somebody, and it could be years down the road, but your mind is still pulling you back, because you're trying to figure out, because you can't make sense of this shit. So the shit that's pulled with this narcissistic love bombing shit, you know, you can't make sense of that. And so your mind will just rehash it, and it gets to a point where, right, we can't make sense of it, nobody's giving you answers, you're not being able to get answers, nothing makes sense. So we have to heal it ourselves, we have to actually actively heal it ourselves. We have to decide, you know, I can't figure this out, I can't work this out, and I need to let this go, and I need to let this go because I can't figure it out, because of this, that and the other, and then we need to release it. So maybe that you're still getting pulled, is what I'm saying, back to the past energies, and you may actually be connecting with somebody else. You might actually be in a completely new relationship. You might be with somebody else. Or if that's not the case, you know, some of you will have moved on. For some of you, you're still thinking that this was the be all and end all. You're still thinking that this was an amazing thing in your life. And it was for a moment. And it's hard to move beyond that sometimes. It's hard to get out of that headspace where it was so everything, it was so perfect, it was so everything. How did it go wrong? So there's some of you that are still thinking on this, that this was the be all and end all, this was everything that you could have hoped and dreamed for. Perhaps it was just the wrong person. It just wasn't the right person in that situation. It wasn't somebody that was emotionally mature enough to be screwed into the situation to be able to navigate it in a successful way. So it was the right situation, wrong person. And There's others of you who will actually have moved on from this. You will have moved into a new connection, a new commitment, and it's something that's working really fantastic. It's something that's really good. However, you may be having doubts about it because of the past situation. You may be having doubts about it because that plays in your mind. Like, you don't really want to let yourself get that far into something in case they fuck you over, in case they do what this past person has done to you. So it's almost like you're holding back. So it is, it's almost like you're holding back. I feel like even for those that are not necessarily in something right now, I feel like there's something that is an opportunity that is open to you. There's something that's coming that's an opportunity for you. There is an opportunity to start new emotions somewhere or with someone, but you're holding yourself back from it. There's something that you're holding yourself back on. You wanting to, though, with this Ace of Cups here in the passions area, in the fire area, this tells us that you want this. You want to be able to be vulnerable in your emotions. You want to be able to experience emotions the correct way. You want to have something that you can build and grow into something amazing. You want all this, but there may be a fear here as well. There's like almost like I'm not 100% sure that I want to put myself in that vulnerable position again. It's almost like there's a fear of being vulnerable again, putting yourself in a position where someone may pull the rug from under you again. Now, in your emotions, we have the Page of Wands. You may actually be going at connections and people that you're interacting with. You may be going at it in a kind of more playful way, in like try to keep it as if it's like friends with benefits or something. Almost like if we don't hand over our emotions, if we don't get tied up into the emotions, we can't get hurt. So there may be that kind of element to it. And you may, if you are in a relationship, if you are connected to somebody, not just friends with benefits, not just someone that you're kind of casually hooking up with or starting to see. If you are actually connected with someone, you still may be going at them in this energy. So in your emotions, you are still trying to keep it kind of reserved, try to keep it at arm's length, try to keep somebody at arm's length, quite literally. It's like you may come across like a fun time to them, but it's almost like you don't give them yourself on a deeper level. You don't like kind of entertain letting yourself be vulnerable with the people that you're connecting with. And this is because you've been hurt. This is because you've been hurt. This is because when you were vulnerable, when you did offer up your emotions, when you did pour your heart out and put yourself out there, you were shit on by somebody who just didn't know, who doesn't know, somebody who thinks they're that perfect, that nothing will ever be perfect enough for him. I mean, something always is in the moment, and then it's not, and something else will come along that is. It's that kind of energy from that person, and that's left you feeling scared. There's no other word for it. Scared, exposed, and vulnerable. So you're always keeping something up in front of you. You're always keeping the guard up in front of you. So you may be approaching people and the connections that you're getting into in a playful way. And in a playful way, I mean like kind of keeping it kind of sexualized, keeping it kind of fun time, like kind of keeping on top of that, or using maybe not even using that as a way to connect. I mean, you could be using it as a way to connect, or a way to try and get people interested, or try and get people, to keep people interested. It may be that you're doing that, but for some of you, it's just that you're just trying to if we keep it all about the physical, then we don't have to get into the emotional. We don't have to sit here and be mushy with each other. We don't have to sit here and be, you know, all lovey-dovey. And even if I'm feeling that, which you are, even if you're starting to feel that, or if you're already feeling that and you're not showing that, you're not showing it. You don't want to show it. It's almost like, I don't want to show it. I'm not putting myself in that vulnerable position. I've been burnt before. This is the Page of Wands. This is a fire card. I've been burnt before. I'm stepping it into the road of learning from being burnt. Up here though, we have Spirit's advice to you is the Empress. We've got the Empress coming out here. And with this Empress card, this is telling you that you're abundant, that you are worthy, that you can have what you want, that you can manifest what you want, that you can be who and have and create what you want. You can create anything that you want to create. You always could. The thing with when we create things, we tend to fixate on certain things. Even when we get the red flags, see, the Empress will create. She will create. She'll put things out there. She'll start working. She knows she's got to put in the work. She knows she's got, you know, it doesn't happen by itself. You've got to put in the work. So she knows this. So she puts in this hard work. But she also respects herself enough that when the hard work is not being put in by somebody else, that she goes, fuck this, I'm not dealing with this, and she'll back herself off and she'll go off and she will do something else or find somebody else who does appreciate, respect and fucking wants to work with her as a team. So she will respect herself enough to back away. And this may have been a problem. You're not seeing your worth. You're not understanding your worth. So when people are coming along who are making you doubt even further your worth, instead of backing away, instead of saying, look, I ain't dealing with this shit, instead of doing that, we're allowing them to take our power away. We're allowing them to take our power away, and we're allowing them to make us weak. And you are not a weak person. Spirit wants you to know that you're not a weak person. Respect yourself enough to stand and have boundaries and stand your ground, and don't accept anything less than what you deserve. If people are coming to you, and this is like, yeah, we can put emotions and we can find out that it's not for us, and then we can back ourselves away from it, and yeah, it will hurt a bit, but it's not going to hurt as much as going miles down the road with something and then it fucking up in a big way when we already knew it was going to months ago. So it's like kind of learning to work the land. I'm just thinking work the land because it's the Empress card and she's out in the field, but it's like working the land. It's like working with what you've got, learning to keep yourself safe. Because you are the Empress, you are deserving, you are worthy, and you can have anything that you want. And if what you want comes to you and it's not right for you and it's not giving you what you want, then recognize that, accept it and move away from it. Don't allow people to stay in your energy, using your resources, using up your mental space just to keep them around when you don't need them. If they're not bringing to you, if they're not putting into you, then you don't need them around. So think like in the material kind of world here, we've got this Hierophant card, and this could be telling you that you may be connecting or getting into, well, if you sat watching tarot, then I'm assuming you're getting into, or you're connecting with spirit, or you're connecting with something, some kind of higher power. You're reconnecting with higher power, and I think that's where really you're going to find your worth. This is where you're going to find, not that you're going to find your worth there. You've always got your worth. Your worth is there. It's more like it's kind of, it's going to reinforce it for you. It's going to help you to have better boundaries. It's like there's somebody around you, or something that you can connect with, or something that you're getting into where you're going to connect with someone who's going to help you, who's going to be able to advise you, give you advice, who's going to be able to show you, like, kind of, you know, a better way of doing something is what's coming to mind. It's almost like, kind of, we might be doing something, but there's just something that we're doing wrong, and they can show us if we ask. You know, if we ask people, this card, we've got to remember this is the eternal learner card. This is like, he's the master, he's the teacher. He's the one that we look up to, but he's also always learning, and it's like, at some point we will be the hierophant. At some point we will be the one who is knowledge, because we have bothered to ask and learn. So it's like, if you need help with things in your life, don't be afraid to ask people for help. Don't be afraid to reach out to people for help. Don't be afraid to seek guidance in things, and don't be afraid to learn. Don't be afraid to learn. The only way that we become teachers is by learning, and by studying, and by putting in the time, effort and energy, and by learning how to do things properly. And when I say that, it sounds a bit like kind of fucking cliche, that, but no, it's almost like, when we think of ourselves, we can sit there and go, oh yeah, I respect myself, I this, I that, I the other, and it's almost like, well, we do, but then there's times that we let it slip, and why we're letting it slip. So then it's someone that can help us by calling us out, like, no, you're letting yourself slip there. Don't let yourself slip, because you deserve better. Don't put up with that shit, because you deserve better. And I feel like you've got somebody around you who could be a champion for you in situations where you might be momentarily lapsing on judgment on things. There's somebody around you who could help you, who could teach you, who you could learn from. It's somebody that you can actually look up to, as somebody that is going to do it for your greater good, not somebody that's out there just to bullshit you or take the piss out of you. This is somebody that's going to be a decent person in your life, who's going to be helping you for a good reason, not to try and manipulate you or anything like that. So the future, we've got this Page of Pentacles, and this is stepping out. This is knowing. This is, with the Page of Pentacles, I always think, like, it's, if you think the Page of Pentacles is a little one with a garden, and it's like the little one knows that they have to plant the seeds, they have to water the seeds, they have to make the seeds grow. They create what it's down to them. What they put in, they get out. So to make the garden beautiful, they have to plant the seeds, they have to arrange the seeds, they have to put in the work, they have to water it, they have to tend to it, they have to make it grow. And I feel like this is going to be you. I feel like getting yourself in a good space, where you are free to be emotionally vulnerable and not have this guard up all the time. You need to put the work in. And I feel like there's someone around you that's going to help you do this. I feel like there's somebody around you that's kind of going to be a bit of a mentor to you almost. Maybe you're getting into tarot, maybe you're getting into spiritualism, or that you're going to church even, you know. You might be getting back into something like that, where it's kind of steer your, not even your, yeah, steer your morals almost. It's almost like you're gonna change your perception of something, and it's not going to be a negative thing. And I feel like you're going to be putting a lot of work into yourself, and it's the first steps. The page is always the first steps into this. So this is about planting your seeds. This is planting your seeds so you can tend to them, make them grow, make your garden beautiful. And this is all about making your garden beautiful. And I feel like this garden in question is your life. It's you, it's your life. You can create whatever the hell you want to create in your life. And I feel like you're going to be starting to recognize that, because somebody around you is going to be championing you and going to be pushing you forward with something, and making you see your worth almost. And it's going to be pushing you to make your garden beautiful. And you're going to be digging out all the weeds, and you're not going to be allowing shit to continue or things to build up that don't need to be there. You're going to be plucking it out and getting rid of anything that doesn't need to be in your garden, that's spoiling your garden. And that's how you're going to move forward in life. You're going to move forward in a positive way, because you're going to pull yourself into the present now, here, now. We're going to stop fixating over the past, over things that we can't change. We can't change the past. We have to recognize that. And even if we're sat waiting for an apology, an apology may never come. So there's no point in wasting your life sitting waiting for an apology that may never come. You give yourself the closure. Don't you wait for somebody else to give you the closure in life. You don't have to wait for somebody to give you the closure in life. You create that closure yourself. And when you go through these motions, even a cord cutting ceremony or something like that, go through these motions and go through it and work with it. There's somebody that's going to help you out with it, and you're going to be able to move forward, and your garden's going to be beautiful. Your life is going to be beautiful. But you get out what you put in to make sure that you're tending your garden, and make sure that you put in the work in and you're not letting things slip. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one there. Okay, thank you.